Season 3 has arrived here for opening day of our Pittsburgh Pirates franchise, and it is our most exciting season yet. Between the moves we made in free agency, spending significant money to bring in the likes of Jazz Chisholm, Victor Robles, and Jesus Luzardo, as well as what is now a farm system chock full of high upside MLB ready talent. We're hoping to start to turn things around here in Pittsburgh and become a team that is going to be exciting to watch on a day-to-day basis. Taking a look at where we are projected to have our leaders. Ironically enough, Billy Fink is projected to lead us in several areas, although he's not even on the team right now. They think we'll be calling him up in a matter of no time, but I don't think it'll be quite that way. Paul Skenes coming off a season that I think by his standards he would consider a little bit of a disappointment, trying to turn things around, hopefully get some better run support by the offense this season. He does give up a leadoff single here to McCarthy. Perdomo breaks his bat in his first plate appearance of the season. One thing worth noting that we are playing with Arizona here. That is the team that we traded Brian Hayes to in the offseason, so an instant chance at revenge for trading him away. Adrian Del Castillo in for the Diamondbacks, and he will fly out to right field. Runners on the corners here for Juan Yepes. Falling behind the count at 0-2. Painted top corner, 101 on the gun. That's going to end off the first inning for Paul Skenes. A strong finish. Got a couple runners on, but kept them from crossing home plate. One hit, one walk in the first. We'll be taking a look at Corbin Burns on the mound on the other side. He has been a pretty good pitcher so far in the sim. Victor Robles will go down looking here to start his Pirates career. Hopefully we get like a true leadoff hitter in him. Something that we have lacked in the first two seasons. That high on base player that can also steal a bag with regularity. Reynolds pops it up to Marte here, and here we get the projections for our actual starting lineup, where it's not projecting Fink's numbers in here. So let's take our first look at Jazz Chisholm. He was the headliner in the offseason. Not everyone loved the move, but I've got high hopes for Jazz here. He takes his first at-bat as a Pirate and turns it into an automatic double. Hit that one hard into the gap. Thought for a moment it had a chance to leave. Would have been awesome to have his first ever ABB a homer. Horwitz gets caught looking at the cutter right at the top edge of the zone. Burns ends the first inning much like Skenes did with a strike three looking. Carroll got some serious speed for Arizona. Not going to be able to use it here, though, as he floats one over to Robles. Skenes, 1-1 pitch. Another one into the outfield. And here in the second inning, 3 straight flyouts. Get the Diamondbacks retired without much issue. What can O'Neal Cruz do this year in what could very well be his last year in Pittsburgh unless he really improves on what he's done? There, it definitely looks like he was not expecting the slider. So he'll go down swinging for a punch out in his first appearance of the season. 2-2 pitch for Castro. Inside on the hands. Floated into foul territory and giving chase. There is Brian Hayes. Payoff pitch for Josh Bell. They're going to say he went around for strike 3. Nothing doing for either side in the second. Hayes battling well here, surprisingly enough, and he draws a walk. That's about the best thing we've seen him do in this rebuild. McCarthy at the plate, and he'll now have a scoring opportunity with Hayes stealing a bag. Count runs full, and he looks at the 102 fastball. Easily inside the zone. Strikeout looking. Perdomo goes down, swinging back-to-back punch-outs for Skenes. Could he be starting to heat up for us? When you've got that overwhelming power, those breaking balls can be tough to locate here. Marte swinging as well, so a leadoff walk, but then 3 straight strikeouts to make sure that Arizona couldn't do anything with them. We are at 1 hit apiece heading into the bottom of the third here. Up first for the Pirates is Nick Gonzalez. Struck well to left field. This one is back, and it is Nick Gonzalez. Home run here to start the bottom of the third. 102 miles an hour off the bat, and the Pirates are aboard for the first time this season. Burns has been tough for us here early on in this game. It might be one of these games where the solo homers will be the best way to get some runs on the board. This one, a high breaking ball that Robles could not get a hold of. He grounds out here in his second appearance. Single right up the middle for Brian Reynolds. With 2 outs here. Can Jazz Chisholm keep the inning alive? He got a double his first time up to the plate and gets another hit here. Back-to-back singles for Pittsburgh. Now a scoring opportunity for Horwitz. He swings at the pitch low in the zone. It is popped up to center field, so no additional runs for Pittsburgh here. But they do get the first score aboard here. Chisholm, good reaction. Able to snag that one out of the air. Juan Yepes up next, and deep to center field, but O'Neal Cruz easily able to make it there in time to snag that one. Back-to-back outs. That'll bring up Carroll. He flew out in the first plate appearance of the season. This one's going to get down for extra bases. At the wall, Reynolds will make the throw in, so just a double for Corbin Carroll. But now Lourdes Gurriel will try and keep the inning alive, but the sweeper gets some swinging. What a beautiful pitch to end the fourth for Skenes. O'Neal Cruz, the leadoff man here in the fourth. He cracks it out to right field. It is off the pole and gone. First homer of the season for the center fielder. The second solo homer of the game for Pittsburgh. I was saying this might be the best way for us to score, playing against Corbin Burns. And we do it for the second consecutive inning here. Just fair right off that pole. Castro 2-2 pitch. Hacks at the curveball inside. Swing and a miss. 5th punch out of the game for Corbin Burns. Bringing up Josh Bell next, and that is a pitch you have to swing at with 2 strikes. Cutter easily inside the zone. Gonzalez got the score and going. His last plate appearance, this time hit well to left field again, but does not quite have the carry. Gurriel settles underneath it for the outs to end the inning. But back-to-back innings with a solo homer, this time courtesy of O'Neal Cruz. Skenes out here for the 5th. He has had a pretty high pitch count, so I'm not sure how long he'll be able to go into this game, despite the fact that he is pitching shutout baseball here. He does get a 1-pitch out here against McCarthy, which is clutch. And he was actually able to get through the 5th really efficiently, which I think will give him a chance at a 6th inning here. That was a very, very much so needed efficient 5th inning for Paul Skenes. Andy Rodriguez will get a leadoff single here to kick off the bottom of the 5th inning. Hitting in that 9 spot for us. That'll bring up the leadoff man, and a wild pitch will put Andy in scoring position. Can we get the first hit from Robles, which would likely bring home a run? This one inside. Carroll, serious speed and right, able to track that one down. That's a ball that I think normally gets down, but that is some really nice speed on display from Carroll. Jazz to left field. It is back, and it is going to be another automatic double. This one will bring home the 3rd Pittsburgh run. Looking awfully familiar to what he did in his first plate appearance. That's also going to end the day for Corbin Birds. 3 for 3 for Jazz Chisholm with a couple of doubles and an RBI. Horwitz looking for his first hit of the season. Not going to be nearly as good against a lefty, and there he strikes out at the ball in the dirt, 2-0 pitch for Geraldo Perdomo. Cracked up the middle of the field. As we predicted, Paul Skenes does come out for the 6th. Pretty hard hit ball there to kick off the 6th. That'll bring up Ketel Marte. He's been a tough out so far with a walk as well for Skenes. This one out to the warning track, but Robles was ready for it. First out acquired. 0-2 for Adrian Del Castillo. That one's high and inside. Hit deep to right field again. Robles leaping and unable to haul it in. They will not test the arm there. They'll stay at 2nd and 3rd. That was just a bit of a moonball hit well into the sky. Robles just couldn't get the glove on it there. Yepes. That should reach the gap on the payoff pitch. And the Diamondbacks are aboard. Tried to get that 6th shutout inning. And instead, the Diamondbacks are right back in it here. Scoring 2 runs, which will also end the day for Skenes. Does not quite get the full 6 innings pitched. He'll end with 5 1/3. The man coming in to replace him is Carson Fulmer. Grounder over to 3rd is how he starts his day. And then the swipe on the strike 3 will end the inning. Juan Yepes, though, putting the Diamondbacks on the board for the first time. Tommy Henry still in the game for Arizona. Castro's going to lay down a bunt, and he is safe. Outruns the throw there. An excellent bunt down that 3rd base line. In the past, I haven't been a fan of bunting, but now that I've signed Victor Robles, I feel like I'm going to have to be a little more open to it. Appreciate the art of the bunt as Castro steals his way into scoring position. Josh Bell gonna join him on the base paths here after patiently drawing a walk. Gonzalez, the circle change. Gets him to miss. So it's Andy Rodriguez's responsibility now to try and bring our runners home. That should score one. And it does. An RBI. We'll call it single here for Andy. Thought he maybe could have gotten a double out of it. But sticking at first and second. But picking up an RBI for Victor Robles. He just, unfortunately, hasn't been able to get anything going here in his Pirates debut. But Andy does his job and gets another run aboard for the Pirates here as a response to the 6th inning by Arizona. Grichuk here. A single here to kick off the 7th. Top of the order back up for Arizona. McCarthy looking at that pitch low in the zone. Second punch out for Fulmer. Over the middle, Perdomo gets it into the outfield, but does not have the carry. Robles snags it to end off the 7th. Nothing doing with the leadoff single there. Lefty Henry stays in for the 7th for Arizona. Grounder here to Brian Reynolds to start the inning. Payoff pitch. Chisholm takes a look at the fastball high. Now has reached all 4 plate appearances in his Pirates debut. One of our Pirates hitters is having an excellent debut at least. Chisholm goes for second base, gets there safely, and that's a pretty big deal because that increases the contact rating for Horwitz from the 30s up to the 70s for this at-bat. He is not great at all hitting lefties, but doesn't end up mattering in the end. Cruz had the solo homer back in the 4th inning, gets another hit here that gets down in the outfield, and it's going to score Jazz Chisholm in for a run. Not the prettiest of hits, but it doesn't matter in the end. An RBI single for Oneil Cruz, his 2nd RBI of the game. He's now in scoring position. Neither of these catchers have been able to really stop these runners from getting to second base. Neither are really star defenders, to be fair. As Castro gets on a walk, and that'll end the day for Henry. Can Josh Bell get aboard for the first time in this game? Not going to happen here. The 7th is over here. But the Pirates extend their lead to 3. James Waylock into the game for Pittsburgh here. Now, I will admit I totally forgot to set up our bullpen ahead of opening day, so he's listed as the setup man. I would immediately change that after this game. I don't know if I want the 21-year-old with no MLB experience in the setup role, but we'll see if he can do a good job with his opening day. You know, I said in the thumbnail there was an MLB debut. Bet you didn't think it was James Waylock. Of course, I'm referring to a Bubba Chandler debut that we'll be getting to after opening day here, but guess we're getting an extra debut here with Waylock. 1-2 pitches chopped up the middle by Yepes. So a hit here with 2 aboard. Just need 1 more from Waylock, and he'll have done his job. Corbin Carroll. That one's lifted into center field. That's going to get down in the gap. Oneil Cruz giving chase. He's got a big arm, but it's not going to stop Corbin Carroll from picking up an RBI triple here. 0-2. Gurriel, that's going to get down as well. And just like that, it's a 1-run ball game once more. We got to get James Waylock out of here, but the manager decides to keep him in as he has a chance now to blow this game with the runner in scoring position, and we're lucky that one didn't find the gap. James Waylock got the first 2 outs, but really struggled there to get that 3rd. Celebrating there. knowing that he didn't totally blow this game, I guess. Gonzalez gonna reach via walk. How about Andy? 2 hits so far today. He's gonna get a called strike 3 there right at the top of the zone. It's been a pitch that's, for the most part, the umpire has called a strike today, as Robles continues to struggle a bit offensively in his Pirates debut. Nothing doing for the Pirates in the 8th, and so it will be just a 1-run lead for Jojo Romero, getting his first chance as a closer to replace what Bednar did for us last season. He's going to go up against Hayes here, but unfortunately, Hayes is really good against lefties. Doesn't end up burning us there. Jojo Romero's first appearance will be a strikeout here. McCarthy lays down a bunt, and he's going to beat the throw by Horwitz. So it looked like he hesitated there after snagging the ball. I wonder if he just didn't have it all the way. McCarthy stills a second bag here on opening day. Perdomo. This will be an out. So 2 outs aboard and a runner on third. No mistakes here from Romero going forward. We're going to intentionally walk Itzel Marte and bring up Adrian Del Castillo instead. He had nearly a home run his last time out, and this time he draws a walk with that pitch way upstairs. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Jojo Romero needs to get this out. Going against Yepes, 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats after starting 0 for 2. Falls behind 0-2 in this count. Romero, that one is fouled off on the sinker outside. Another 0-2 pitch here. This time unable to get Yepes to bite. 19th pitch of the inning incoming for Romero, and it's another foul ball. Even with the foul tendency all the way at 1, you're not going to avoid some of these at-bats where they're just fouling off everything, and we get another one here. I don't know what else I can do to tell the game to stop giving me all these foul balls. 1-2 pitch. Grounded to third. Chisholm makes the throw, and the Pirates are victorious on opening day. High leverage situation from the closer. Honestly, a lot like last year with Bednar. It wasn't a perfect save from Romero, but it was a save nonetheless as the Pirates escape with a 1-run victory here on opening day against Brian Hayes and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Great way to start off Season 3. Before we get to the Bubba Chandler MLB debut, I wanted to take a break and take a look at our payroll and our budget screen here, because it's been a topic in the comments now at a few points throughout this series about doing certain things that the Pirates would not do. For example, signing Chisholm and Luzardo to a combined $41 million per year on 4 years for one and 6 for the other. Having a payroll over $200 million. Look, would the Pirates ever do that? Probably not. But for me, having fun in franchise mode and playing franchise mode from the point of view of what would an owner do is just not how I do it. I use the budget. That is how I restrict how many players I can sign, who I can sign, who I can't sign, etc. I will be going off of the budget and the budget alone. So the debate of would the Pirates owner ever do this, or this is how I would do this, etc., in the comments. I'm just going to let you know right now, this is how I'm playing franchise mode. This is how I like to play it, and I'm not going to change it. And so if you don't like the way that I do it, there's other channels out there that will probably restrict themselves more than me. I feel like I restrict myself a decent amount already with our house rules. And for example, like I don't increase my budget at all with these whatever you call them, sponsorships. I have 32,000 game money or whatever I could get the best sponsorships for those slots and increase my sponsorships. I don't artificially increase my sponsorship, my budget, but I will use the budget and the budget alone to dictate what kind of payroll we can have. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's how I will be doing things for this rebuild and pretty much every other rebuild I do on MLB the Show going forward. Let's hop in and watch some Bubba Chandler action here, making his MLB debut. Somebody that was the top prospect when we started this franchise. Now he's down to number 9, number 53 in MLB. As you can see here, we have the trifecta 1, 2, and 3 prospects in baseball right now. They have our pitchers that are in the low 50s overall at 4 and 5. I definitely disagree with that. So I wouldn't have Bubba Chandler all the way down at 9 personally in my ratings. But here he is making his MLB debut. Won't be a prospect for much longer anyway. His first at bat will be a triple given up to Jackson Merrill. Certainly not the start you want here. That one hit hard by Merrill, who has some really good speed. Bogarts. Tough start to the season for him, and he's going to get out again, but this one should bring home the run from third. The throw from Reynolds is just not quite good enough. That would have been a really tough throw to make. So the first run aboard for San Diego here already. Tatis. Fly out here to Robles. 2 down here. And Willie Castro makes the throw to beat the runner. So just the 1 run for San Diego. Back for the second. Machado. Right over to Chisholm at third. Makes the easy throw for the first out of the inning. 0-1 here for Luis Campusano. Right over the middle. Campusano gets unlucky there as Reynolds with the flash of the glove able to get him out. Jesus Sanchez coming over from Miami to San Diego here. And he will ground out. So a nice 1-2-3 inning for Bubba in the second. Cronenworth to lead off the third for the Padres. He's down swinging. That'll be the first punch out in the career of Bubba Chandler. You love to see it. An excellent pitch on his first strikeout as well. Right there at the bottom of the zone. 9-hitter for San Diego is Ryan Mountcastle. Having your first baseman as your 9-hitter. Now, Mountcastle is much better against lefties, to be fair to him. Merrill tripled in his first at-bat. This time, grounds it over to second. And back-to-back strong innings from Bubba. What can he do here in the second time through the order? Xander Bogaerts, that's going to get out of the stadium. It is a solo homer to lead off the fourth for Xander Bogaerts, the second run on the board for the Padres. You know, under 100 miles an hour. Didn't really feel like it was going to be one that would leave off the bat, but it just had the carry to get gone. Tatis, infield fly. Nothing new one for him in his first couple at-bats. 1-2 pitch for Hoskins, the curve. Could not locate it. Second strikeout of the game. Going against Manny Machado now. Chopper. Chandler gives chase and makes the play to end the inning. Luis Campusano back up next. Gets another pitch over the middle and does almost the exact same thing with it as the first time up. Unlucky for him, getting these very hittable pitches and not being able to hit them. O'Neal Cruz. A diving play in center field to keep Jesus Sanchez off the bases. I mean, that is an awesome play. Bubba Chandler's hyped up for it. 2-2 pitch. Cronenworth cracks it to center field, giving chase once again is O'Neal Cruz. Great defensive range from him in this inning. There was some discussion. There's obviously been a lot of discussion about O'Neal Cruz recently in the comment section. Some of them have been questioning his defense. I don't really agree with that. I think he's been perfectly fine center fielder for us. I don't feel like defense is the issue at all with O'Neal Cruz. It's, for me, it's been on the offensive end where he has struggled. 2-2 pitch for Bogarts is another curveball. He's been liking to go to the curve for that strike 3 here. So he ends up with 6 innings pitched, 2 runs allowed. Honestly, after that leadoff triple into a sacrifice fly start, I thought things could have gotten ugly, but he did a great job bouncing back in his MLB debut. I liked what I saw from Bubba for sure, and I'm excited to see what he can do in the rest of his rookie season going forward. Unfortunately, the Padres would pick up the win here, which would be their 3rd straight victory over Pittsburgh. They've had our number throughout this series early on in the season. Pirates drop another one after leading in hits. We will end the month of March at 4-5 here. And the early returns here, obviously very little in the way of sample size at this point, but Jazz Chisholm has continued that hot spring into a good start here on the season. 333 through the first 9 games of his Pirates career. Paul Skenes has gone for a 2.25 ERA, 1.08 whip. Now started 2 games here. Jared Jones was very strong in spring. That has continued here through his first couple of starts. O'Neal Cruz has that 1 home run, but only has 3 total hits right now. Ryan Reynolds, good start. Mitch Keller playing well. We will get to the Billy Fink Double-A debut next episode. Castro's struggling. Luzardo, so far so good in his first 2 games here. We have 4 saves to no blown saves for Jojo Romero, so you like that. The whip is very high right now, but he's keeping the runs off the board. Robles, probably a disappointing 233. Again, just super small sample size right now. Just want to give a quick look into how things have started. Chandler still just that 1 start, but it was a pretty good one, I should say. That's going to wrap up here this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with more Pittsburgh Pirates franchise rebuild. And until then, let's go Bucks.